Hello, friends. Today we're going to be making an art piece that is expressing our individuality through nudibranches, which are kind of sea slugs. They're actually more in the snail family. Here they are. This book is Oceanology and has a page on nudibranches, which is colorful and beautiful. There are over 3,000 species of these animals, and they're all colorful and have different um, attributes to them, and I just love them. I think they're so amazing animals, and they are so individual based on their where they are located and what they eat. And they're a great visualization for us to remind ourselves of our own individuality and to embrace it. I doubt a nudibranch says, you know what, I don't like my colors. I don't like where I live. I'm sure they're just being as they are, as we should also. So I'm just making shapes reminiscent of nudibranches. I'm not being particularly realistic in it. I'm just making some, um, they have these gills all over them. So I'm kind of making odd shapes and then these little gills, and some of them are a little more worm-like and some of them are a little bit more ovally cylindrical. And I'm just making some shapes and textures around and through here. Let me know if you'd be interested in this as the black and white, just pen work as a coloring page to fill out. I would be willing to put that in as a free Google Documents download. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I'm using here a Lamy fountain pen with carbon ink in it. Carbon ink is a waterproof ink, so it allows me to do the pen work underneath watercolor. So I can do the pen first if I wanted to, and then do watercolor. In this case, I'm going to be using colored pencils. So I'm not going to be wetting it, but my colored pencils that I'm using are Caran Neocolor to watercolor pencils. So if I wanted to, I could wet them later and decide I wanted to have this more watercolory, but I don't think I'm going to choose to do that. So again, I'm just making some odd little shapes here. You do whatever kind of fun little shapes you want to do. I'll link on here another part of the book so you can see. Maybe I'll take a picture of it and just add in here so you can see. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to accept our own individuality and celebrate our uniqueness and our diversity. It's what makes us interesting. It's what suits us to our environment. It gives us our distinct traits. I've spent times in my life where I didn't even know what I liked. I didn't know what food I liked. I was in a relationship where it was kind of all about that other person, and I didn't know anything about myself at all. I spent a period of time making I had seen a movie in this where someone, I forget what movie it was, maybe it was, I forget, but where someone was trying a bunch of different eggs different ways to see how they liked it, and I thought, I don't know how I like my eggs. I'm going to do this. So I did. I tried to see, like, how do I like my eggs? I was wearing clothes to suit that other person. And I was like, what do I like wearing? And one of the great things too is we evolve as people as well. So our interests will even change, right? I get to choose what I wear. I get to open my closet and pick, I want to wear this color. I want to wear this hat, whatever. I get to embrace the individuality of my own self expression. And I want you to be able to feel empowered to do that as well, to embrace yourself as you are, just as these beautiful, they're going to be colorful nudibranches are. They're just gorgeous animals. And I want you to embrace your individuality by doing this. So some fun little things about nudibranches. They generally live in coral reefs, hence their beautiful, bright colors. And they are they have both male and female parts, which is interesting as well. They are not, they're called sea slugs a lot of times, but they're not sea slugs. They are actually more in the snail family. I'm using here, just in case you're wondering what colored pencils I'm using or what colors I have. This is a Caran. The darker orange one is a Caran Supracolor 2 Soft in vermilion. The other color that I have there is also the Caran, and that's an orange number 30. I have light blue, I believe, light blue, that's 161. I have opaline green, that's 195. And I have the last one there is light green and 221. So if you were interested in these same colors, those are the colors I'm using. They're nice and bright and beautiful, which is why I picked them. It's surprising that these animals would be these colors, but they are. They are all so unique in their color, texture, their form, the way that they live their life. And we are kind of the same way. We also, similar like Nudibranches, we undergo changes throughout our lives. So your interests and your experiences were so different when you were 19 to how they are now. And through your evolution, you want to reflect on your personal growth and your acceptance of yourself, whether that be your body changing. I don't know about you, but my body is changing and I want to love it. I want to embrace my body as it is, not how it was when it was 19. It was beautiful then, and it's going to be, and it's beautiful now. I'm not going to even say gonna, it's beautiful now. We're always changing, and nudibranches are too. Like they go through several transformations from like larva to adults, and we are kind of moving along that way as well. So as we're coloring in these nudibranches and all the shade, oh, I should say all the hues that we feel like coloring it in, maybe you don't want to use the same ones as me, and by all means you don't have to. We're going to reflect on some of the things that maybe we struggle with in ourselves or even in others. Maybe we've learned things about others that we want to unlearn that don't feel good, or about ourselves, right? So let's color this in and think about challenging our traditional notions of beauty, of stereotypes, of differences. Each nudibranch is so different, and they're very small. I know they look kind of big on my page, but they're very small and they often get overlooked. They do not follow traditional rules in the ocean as far as what other animals do. They are very different, and yet they're so beautiful and so wonderful, and we get to use them in this moment to challenge our traditional notions of beauty, of value, coming in many forms. We get to really push this ideology for ourselves on nonconformity and on your personal freedoms. If you didn't have societal pressures, if you didn't have to live within the judgment of the people around you, what would you do differently? I mean, legally, right? But what would you do differently? Would you wear different clothing? Would you choose a different way of living your life? Or are you happy with your self expression? And maybe sometimes it's just hard to feel the judgment of others on you. As you're filling this out, take that time to think about what makes you unique, and not unique as in, oh, that's like weird, but unique in beauty, because weird is amazing. I have an autistic son, and he is, well, now there's not quite a term for it, but he's level 1 autistic. And so he often says to me, people say I'm weird. They think I'm really weird. And we embrace weird in our house. We go, yeah, okay. And weird isn't an insult. Weird isn't an insult. You can just be different. If everyone, there's this wonderful song that I play for the kids all the time, and I love myself. And it's, if everyone looked the same, we'd get tired of looking at each other. If everybody, I think everybody looked the same. It's a great, great song. So I hope by making this art piece in all of its bright colors, diverse shapes and forms, you've also worked on embracing both your differences as well as the differences to others around you, appreciating the unique qualities in yourself and others. You fostered a deeper sense of your own self-acceptance, self-expression, diversity. And when you look around and see people that are different than you will love it. Because how boring would it be if we were all the same?